The summit of the Grand Teton in Wyoming's Grand Teton National Park sits at 13,770 feet above sea level and about 7.5 miles from the Lupin Meadows parking lot, the traditional starting point for an ascent. It was first climbed in 1898 via a route now known as the Owen Spaulding, and since then it has been ascended and descended just about every way possible. But as the years pass, one ascent has taken on increasing significance, that of Bryce Thatcher's 1983 speed record of 3 hours and 6 minutes car to car. Bryce's record grows in stature the more people try to break it. This year I was bringing a 12-year-old friend up the peak when one of those modern aspirants came charging by. Luke Nelson is a world-class runner who works for Bryce, and with Bryce's encouragement, on August 27th, Luke started out from Lupin Meadows Trailhead at 8 o'clock in the morning. At around 10 past 10, he blew by us as a friend, Brian Harder, helped him navigate toward the summit. Less than an hour and a half later, Luke was back at his car. Saturday at the U.S. Ski Mountaineering Championships in Jackson Hole, Luke won the men's division, blasting up and down the 8,000-foot course in 2 hours and 38 minutes. I caught up with Luke after the race and asked him a few questions about Bryce's record, his own attempt, and what he thought might happen to Bryce's time in the years to come.
Luke, last time I saw you was on the Grand,
Yep.
and you were trying to do it as quickly as possible.
Yep, giving Bryce Thatcher's record a chase.
Yep. Bryce in 1983
Right.
ran it in 3 hours and 6 minutes.
Yep.
And you in 2011 ran it in 3 hours and
33 minutes and 3 seconds.
So what do you think has happened over the course of the last 30 years? Why has nobody beaten his record?
I think it's two things. I think the number one thing is Bryce had spent so much time on the route to learn how to run it fast. 30 or 40 days that summer before he went for the record. And then the other thing is when he went for it, he went to a totally different planet. He buried himself so hard. You know, the stories of him being blue around the lips from hypoxia are true. You know, he had pushed his body to such a different level than anybody's attempted to so far. There's a lot of people that don't believe that he could have done the record like that. After what I did on my first try, going fast on it, I think that it could be broken, but it's going to take a hero's effort. You know, afterwards, I was at Bryce's house about a month and a half afterwards when we were talking about it, and he thought that I was about 2 weeks late on the snow coverage for Ideal, just because you need to be able to connect some of the big snow fields so you can just open it up as opposed to running on the rocks.
And on the way, you mean on the way down?
On the way down, yeah. On the way up, I don't think it's as important, but on the way down, so you can just really just fly. I know a couple of spots where if I add them up, I could lost about 15 minutes for not knowing the route, particularly on the descent through the moraine and where the fixed rope is. I got off the track there, so I think working the route a bunch of times and I'll be able to scare it at least.
The youngest competitor at Saturday's U.S. Ski Mountaineering Championships was 15-year-old Micah Thatcher, Bryce's son. I asked Micah a few questions about his father's accomplishment as well.
What has your dad told you about running the Grand in 3 hours and 6 minutes?
It was after his mission when he got back. It was his second attempt on it. It had been broken while he was on his mission, so he wanted it back. He ran until he said he had fluid around his eyes, and he said that you could see his vein in his head pumping for like a week after, and then he had to walk downstairs backwards for a week after. He drank out of the streams. He didn't bring a water bottle or anything. All he carried was a windbreaker jacket and a jar of apple juice. And he ended up leaving his jacket somewhere like at the lower saddle, or maybe it was at the top. I'm not sure. That's all he had. And his pair of shoes that he had, they were brand new pairs of shoes, and at the end they were totally shot.
Luke told me that for 2 weeks afterward he collapsed on your grandmother's couch.
Oh yeah, well he said he just sat there like just shot. I don't know.
You think you're gonna give it another shot?
Oh yeah.
Do you think it'll go?
I'd like to believe that I can do it, but we'll see. The proof will be in the pudding when I get it done.